Hey guys, Thunder E here, and yep, I have the WH-1000 Mark 5s from Sony, and in this video I'm going to see how well they compare against the Mark 4s from Sony as well as the AirPods Max. Now, as you can see, I'm clearly not in my studio. I am traveling, and I got to actually use these headphones with me on the road and to see how well they perform. Now, the Mark version, this is more like a beige color. And you can clearly see Sony has changed the design language for these headphones. You've got thinner headbands compared to the Mark 4s. You've also got a kind of wider base to it, softer ear cups, different design, much cleaner traction across when you're just expanding the headphones altogether. But they do not collapse in like the Mark 4s, so you do have that there, similar to the AirPod Max, which don't collapse in as well. Now, let's talk about our very first point, weight, comfort, right? How light are they and how comfortable are they compared to the other two? So I'll start off with the least comfortable and also the heaviest, which is the AirPod Max. Those are much heavier, and because they have metal parts, it does have a nice top headband which rests pretty well, but I've noticed that I can only wear them for about maybe an hour or two before I start getting pain around here just because of the weight. Now, the Mark 4s are very comfortable, and I was able to wear them for a long time, and I use them quite regularly. But I think the Mark 5 takes the case because compared to the Mark 4, they weigh only 250 grams compared to the 254 grams of the Mark 4. And they are so much lighter, especially when using it on a long flight. I flew down to the West Coast, so that's about 6-hour flight. I was able to wear them comfortably on the plane without any issues. So next up, let's talk about controls and functionality. All three have different controls. The Mark 4s and the Mark 5s are similar, so I kind of group them together compared to the AirPod Max. Now, Apple has that crown, which is really easy to use and simple to use, especially for skipping tracks, rolling forward, while the Mark 4s has the touch sensitivity on the right ear cup. Now, it is definitely improved on the Mark 5, being able to swipe left or right, of course, to change your track, up or down to increase your music. And then you do have function buttons on your left ear cup. You do have the power button, which also substitutes your Bluetooth button, pairing button, as well as also your active noise cancellation button there. I would say Apple's simplicity works pretty well. I kind of give them the edge there, but the Mark 5s come in second because the touch sensitivity works really well, but I'll give Apple the edge there on that part. Now let's get into the heart of the matter, active noise cancellation. So all three do a really good job at active noise cancellation, and last year I billed that the AirPod Max had a slighter edge over the Mark 4s, just a little bit. And I think this year Sony has taken the full crown because the noise cancellation to me has been very good over the years. And with the Mark 5, it takes it a step further with its active noise cancellation, how well it does that. It's got 8 microphones for active noise cancellation, and the software does a really good job at sensing your environment. And we'll talk about softwares in a second, but it allows you to, it knows your location and environment so that it can actually tune the active noise cancellation to match your location, or you can manually do it if you want to, which is why you have that physical button there or within the software itself. So I give active noise cancellation to the Mark 5s, but honestly, all three are really good with active noise cancellation. Now let's get into software. With the AirPods Max, you really have nothing in terms of software. You can do your volume controls, you can switch to transparency mode on there, and that's pretty much it. There's some EQ settings you can go into the iPhone, but it really doesn't give you an in-depth look. While with the Mark 4s and the Mark 5s, you do have Sony's very robust software. There are more improved features on the Mark 5, which I actually want to show you. One of them is adaptive sound control. Now this one is pretty cool because you can go in and it can detect your actions if you're walking, if you're sitting like I am doing right now, or whatever activity you do, and it adjusts the active noise cancellations to your environment. It can also learn with location, so depending on location, if you give that ability to the software itself, know that, okay, this is a busy area, so therefore I want my noise cancellation to be maybe lower just because I'm crossing the street or I'm walking around here more often. So those things are pretty cool. You also have the ability to connect to devices devices at the same time. So I can see I have my iPhone and my Galaxy connected together. And then we do have sound controls. We have things like speak to chat, where once I start talking, then basically allows me to hear my environment, and also drops down my music. I can go into my ambient sound controls. I also have the equalizer, and we will get to the sound in a second for all these here, where I can change my equalizer setting. I can also customize it as well. 360 reality audio is there. And of course, these headphones support LDAC if you're using it, of course, on an Android device like the Galaxy. On the iPhone, there's no LDAC support there, but you do have LDAC as well as also DSEE Extreme support with that. Now, the one thing I will add though is that you do have quick access buttons where you can actually go ahead and set access buttons functionality for your active noise cancellation button, where I can double tap with it twice to access my Spotify playlist immediately, so I don't have to actually look for it anything on the phone. Or I can set it for a triple tap so I can switch between my devices. So whatever I want to do, I can do that. And that to me is one of the best part with the much more robust software to give you more functionality with these headphones. So software can be great, but honestly, it's about audio. That's where everything lies. If it doesn't sound good, then it doesn't matter. With the AirPods Max, we know they sound really good, and Apple's done a really good job there. I'm not a big fan of adaptive EQs. I think it takes away from some of the sound, but still, it is a solid pair of headphones in terms of audio. The Mark IVs really do a really good job, but some people complain about bass, and which is why the software helps cue some of that. With the Mark Vs here, you do have different drivers from the Mark IVs. They're now 30mm drivers, making it much lighter, but also I think better with the bass reduction. I found that the bass reduction was much better on the Mark Vs over the Mark IVs. So it sounded cleaner, it sounded richer, and also those highs came out better, and better separations between your mids and your highs. So for me, I definitely like that. The EQs are there where you can go play around with more, but I really like the sound here. And I think in comparison to the AirPods Max, I kind of like them a little bit better than the AirPods Max, maybe because of that, adaptive EQ, but they sound really, really good. Now, AirPods Max and Apple's done a good job over the years with their microphones. They work well. The Mark IVs were really good last year, and I think the Mark Vs even do a slightly better job this year. But honestly, I've used all of them for phone calls, and no one has known the better or could tell the difference, and I'll say solid all around. All right, so finally, let's take a look at what extras you get. Well, with the Mark IVs and the Mark Vs, it does come with a carrying case, unlike the AirPods Max, where you do have to get this kind of like purse style case that doesn't fully protect the device, and the device is still prone to scratches, which is why I have a Spigen case cover over my AirPods Max, and honestly, this thing would have been scratched up more if I used it that way. The Mark Vs do come with a USB Type-C to USB cable, as well as also a 3.5mm cable. And of course, the AirPods Max don't. You have to buy that separately. You do have the same packaging for the Mark IVs. So, who's the new king? When you look at all the prices, AirPods Max, $549. You can get it slightly cheaper, while the Mark IVs are priced at $300. You can definitely get them way cheaper. And the new Mark Vs are priced at $350. Who gives me the best audio, best bang altogether? And honestly, it's the Mark Vs. I think the new improvements in terms of software, active noise cancellation, audio are truly impressive in basically stating out what you actually get from these headphones. I really like it. I think they're solid, and I think the color range is also that silver, as they call it, looks really nice, and it's just a great overall over-the-ear headphones that I think anyone will pick up. So guys, if you have any questions, any comments, let me know. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and always enjoy your entertainment. All right, time for me to listen to some music. Mark Vs come in two color variants. We've got, of course, the silver right here, the color silver, and the black